I have several other hobbies in addition to watches. Growing plants, specifically tropical fruit, is perhaps the biggest one. Into that hobby, I have quite literally sunk quite a lot of money. So, tropical fruit. First, I should give a little introduction. My first foray into the world of growing tropical fruit came when I watched a video about some guy growing a lemon tree from a seed in a store-bought lemon. I gave it a try and, sure enough, I got a lemon tree. And another thing, that original lemon tree has since died. I think it's because of me and my inability to remember to water, but no, some kind of disease or shock, that's what I'm gonna say. Soon after successfully growing that lemon, I started to want to grow other things. I saw the Voodoo Garden channel here on YouTube grow cacao from seed, and I became fixated on growing cacao. Since then, that has become my favorite plant to grow. Before I got my first cacao, my grandparents gave me an avocado seedling. I could never, for some reason, germinate avocado seeds, even though I've tried quite a few times. But then, for my, I can't remember which birthday, but a couple years ago, I got a cacao plant from Lodgies. And that was the real start of this hobby. The story of my cacao trees really unfolds 2 years after I got that plant from Lodgies, when I got 2 pods, fresh pods, from Montoso Gardens. And I soon had a cacao army. Since that original Lodgies cacao plant, my fascination with tropical fruit grew and grew, along with my desire to grow them. And still my collection keeps growing. Many of the plants from my collection came from store-bought fruit. So in my local Giant, there's a teeny tiny tropical fruit section. Usually they have something like a coconut or simple things like some mangoes, but occasionally they do have something more interesting. Maybe not something incredibly rare or unique and special, but something that you don't often see growing here in Zone 7 in Northern Virginia. From my local Giant, I actually got all 3 sort of varieties of dragon fruit. The outside red, inside white, the outside red, inside red, and the yellow, the megalanthus, which tastes the best. Of the 3 dragon fruit varieties, I am currently growing 2 of them. Now the yellow one, I was very surprised to see that Giant had it, because usually that's a very specialized produce that you don't really see here. And the yellow dragon fruit tasted really nice. It's dragon fruit taste, the white-fleshed varieties taste kind of like kiwi, but the crunch and the texture really is unique and nice. And the yellow dragon fruit also had bigger seeds, and they had a nice crunch, and it was the only dragon fruit that I actually ate the whole thing. Now another fruit that I got sort of early on in my searching for tropical fruits at my Giant was a passion fruit, and they were selling them by weight, so I got the smallest one so my dad wouldn't complain about me buying it. I think it was 90 cents or something. The thing, it was a regular purple dragon fruit, and of course I ate it and it was a bit sour like most dragon fruits you get in the store. And all the seeds grew, which is, for me, maybe a bit more important. I also got a cherimoya once. Now the cherimoyas you get in our grocery stores here, they're rock solid. So you get them, and cherimoya, when it's ripe, it should be that you put your finger in and it basically just goes through like butter. When they're picked hard and unripe, before they ripen, well, they ferment, and that's what happened to mine. It wasn't very pleasant tasting, though. The smell of the cherimoya was really nice, and it filled up the house, and I mean, it's a wonderful smell, but I couldn't eat very much of it, let me put it that way. The seeds, though, grew. Once I got a mame sapoti, this huge brown thing with this nice interesting peel. This was actually a day before Mother's Day. We went to Giant to buy some flowers for my mom and my grandmother, and they were selling mame sapotis. And a mame sapoti, or mame sapoti, I don't know how you pronounce it, but they're bright orange on the inside and have this huge seed, like this big seed with this glossy brown. It's a beautiful seed with this glossy brown hard outer shell, and the fruit itself actually tastes not too bad. And well, I didn't have time to eat it and I froze it, but someone threw that away. I did plan to use it though. The mame sapoti kind of tastes like a sweet potato, but it's a very sort of custardy texture. It's quite nice if you like sweet potatoes. At that point I didn't really like sweet potatoes, so I wasn't sure about liking mame sapoti, but I did like it. Something I got at Whole Foods, the one time I went to Whole Foods to look at tropical fruit. Now in Whole Foods they always have much better tropical fruit than at Giant. I mean, they typically have stuff like jackfruit and guavas and all this stuff that you occasionally see at the Giant. At Whole Foods they kind of have it for longer periods of time and more variety and everything. It is more expensive though. The fajoya, the pineapple guava, well, yeah, the pineapple guava, the fajoya, which isn't actually related to the guava, but the fajoya really is an interesting fruit. It's sort of, again, I got a small one to save on weight, but sort of tastes kind of this sweet tropical flavor, but with a bit of mint to it, and it's really nice, and I have some growing. The seeds sprouted easily, and it's really nice. Once I got a blood orange at Giant, and even though the seeds, well, there were a couple seeds, I tried growing them, and they grew to some extent. They had the first 2 leaves, but they never grew past that for some reason and died. I had 2 of them, and both of them died very early, so that's unfortunate. The blood, it's sort of a spectrum. The regular caracara, or the regular navel orange, the caracara navel orange, which is sort of in between, and then at the very end the blood orange. And it's the blood orange, I don't know if it's the sweetest, but it's sort of this smoky flavor, this muskiness that I do really like. Another fruit I got at Giant was an ugly fruit, and this is this citrus, this amazing looking citrus. I mean, I love how it works. I love how it looks. They call it an ugly fruit, but it's really, really cool and special. And that had a lot of seeds. It had many seeds, and I grew some of them. And it does taste quite nice. I can't remember exactly how it tastes, but I remember that I liked it and ate the whole thing. I had jackfruit of a couple different quality levels. The jackfruit is really a nice fruit. Jackfruit really does taste nice. It has a nice texture, and I don't know, it has a jackfruit taste. You can't really describe it. It's sort of, it has, for me at least, this sort of banana note, though I don't know how to describe it. It's this sort of, not a banana flavor, but this banana sweet mellowness, this sort of, I don't know how to describe it. You have to eat a jackfruit. It is good, and I ate a lot of it, and it's quite tasty. Of course, something common to grow is a mango. You take the mango, you eat the delicious, except when it's in my area, mango. You kind of try to crack open that seed to get to the actual seed, the embryo. You plant that and it grows easily, right? Wrong, at least for me. I've grown it so many times. I've tried to grow it so many times. Every single time it failed. It would grow, would have 3-4 leaves, and it would die. I've tried it so many times that I can't even blame me not watering it or over-watering it or any of this. For some reason, they just don't grow for me. I don't know why. Maybe I'll try it again soon, but for now, I'm taking a break from trying to grow mango. One thing that I keep trying to grow and that keeps failing on me is papaya. Papaya has many seeds which are easy to sprout, really easy. I grow them and they start growing very nicely. And then the leaves start falling off. The tips of the leaves start shriveling up from the outside in, the leaves start falling off from the bottom up, and then that's it, they die. They don't really grow much taller than this. And it's not just papaya, because I've tried to grow jarilla, a relative of the papaya, which I really love. It's like sort of this vining papaya relative. Same exact thing happened. It grew very, very nicely, and then it died in the same way as papaya. If you have any advice, please put it in the comments. I really do need it. One thing that's not really a tropical fruit, but I grew, is a habanero. I bought an orange habanero from Giant. Of course, it's by weight, and it cost me 10 cents. And for 10 cents, I got basically a packet of seeds. And that's about it from my grocery store bought tropical fruit adventures. Some of the fruit was quite nice tasting, supposedly some of them the best tasting in the world, not so much. In part 2, I'll show you around and give you a tour of my current tropical fruit plants. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing. If you really like me for some unknown reason, consider supporting me on Patreon, where I release extended cuts of basically all the videos I put on YouTube, in addition to other special videos and updates and other rewards. Also, for now, that's the only place where I offer plants. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.